Alright, wonderful wenches. Welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap. Right, artwod being the best online platform to teach you how to actually draw with forms, line, uh, everything related to perspective, drawing like a fucking draftsman, basically, right? And they actually make you, I don't know, get, let's say, about this good, about this good. Perhaps even about this good, right? Like your fundamental this good. So I've been drawing for 3 years and 3 months, right? Oh yeah, it's March 1st. So and I started November. It's March 1st, 2026. I started November 1st, 2022. So yeah, that would be about what the fuck is that? December, January, February. Yep. Okay. What the fuck? Oh, damn. 3 years and 4 months. It seems. Yeah, I've been drawing for 3 years and 4 months, and that's what I'm able to accomplish. Anyways, fucking get your pen, get your paper, draw along, or get the fuck off my channel. Watch every video, like, subscribe, keep me on the background. I need retention. And now that I've run out of breath, what am I doing? Usually for this portrait practice, these boxes are representative of portraits that I look at. I put a box, a sphere inside the box, center lines inside the sphere inside the box, and then I hold that projection, and then I attempt to draw, right? Simple shapes over them, or at least what's simple for me currently over them, right? And retain the sphere and to like essentially grind the fuck out of my brain and really like put it in a lot of discomfort to see those three layers of perspective: box, sphere inside the box, center lines, vertical and horizontal inside the spheres inside the box, right? This time, just because like I just finished my 50 rep rule for the current exercise, which is I'm already doing way beyond. The next level of like the next step in the artwad exercise is just supposed to be, well, look at a reference and put a box over it. I've been doing that for the past 100 repetitions, right? Technically 200 because I do it twice, right? So for this session, I mean, as a fucking TLDR, right? For this session, I'm just going to be doing this. Like, we're just going to practice actually just visualizing that. We're just going to really exhaust our brain. And then tomorrow, I'll move onwards to the next session, which is the same shit. But it will just start with from rep one again to really practice this. So yeah, with that being said, okay, yeah. Which box do I want to emulate? I think this one should be. I should do this one. It's more accurate to what the actual reference was. All right. So yeah. Okay. So box, sphere inside the box, and again, like just trying to design something, right? And I want to start practicing more form combinations because, like, especially elliptical against elliptical, because that is what's really gonna grind my brain, and that's what I. And again, like having anything spherical or elliptical blending, right? Blending with another spherical shape. Did this run out of ink? I think this pen ran out of ink. Let me go to one of my other pens that I have now, which have just been laying in the corner, and somehow, even though they ran out of ink earlier, they might have more ink now. Would you look at that? They actually have. No, they're also a bit shit. But if you try to put like a cylinder, it's really difficult to try to figure that out. Like how they intersect. It's extremely difficult. I don't even know if that's accurate, but it's basically, yeah, it's like they. I don't know. Elliptical shapes combining with elliptical shapes is extremely difficult, and that's something obviously when I go back to the artwad roadmap, I'll be grinding the fuck out of that. They released their intermediate roadmap, so I think in about 30 years I'll be able to get to it at the pace I'm going, right? But either way, let's practice, right? This time around, I do want to set some things, like properly, in terms of kind of what I'm gonna establish for myself, right? Because I didn't do that last time. I didn't establish the perspective as well as I should have. Now this is still actually technically off from these, but I'm just thinking about generally like this perspective, right? So I gotta think about the box, gotta think about the sphere inside the box, right? And this is extremely difficult. This is the part now where I need to genuinely I just need to think. But if that's the box that I've chosen, I'm just trying to think, like, what box have I chosen? Well, clearly I've chosen this box, right? I've chosen something like this, right? Maybe a bit less pronounced, but I've clearly chosen a box that's like that, right? So now I just have to design. I just have to design, quote unquote, fucking just have to design, right? But no, I'm really gonna be grinding my brain, or attempting to grind my brain, as I try to see everything that I want to hopefully see, right? But if that's what I'm trying to see, then it's going to be very subtle. See, like this is the ellipse, that's the contour that's going to be followed, right? And that is no simple feat, to hold in my mind. Right? Maybe something like this. Right? And I kind of just have to go with it. Like, I don't really have a plan. This session specifically, I'm trying to see what happens if I just allow intuition a little bit, just a little bit. Nothing crazy, but just a little bit of intuition to take hold. Right? Like, what actually can I accomplish? Regarding perhaps design, right? Perhaps design, regarding perhaps my ability to see. Well, right now it doesn't really seem like I can see much, I'll be completely honest, right? It doesn't really feel like I can see much, but that's why we're trying, right? It's not about being some perfect, like absolutely fucking perfect draftsman, I guess, right? It's not really about that, but I just want to see how far I can go with the current abilities that I have, right? And that might just mean, hold up, let me see if maybe even adding a little cylinder. And you'll see, like, you will 100% have seen right now, like, my lines are so mediocre, right? And while I'm drawing this, I'm trying so hard to think about the overall sphere, and it's extremely difficult, because this time around I actually don't even have any reference. I'm creating a box in my mind, my own box. Like, I'm just trying to create my own box, my own sphere, my own center lines, but I don't have any references at all that I'm holding on to, right? So, let's see, maybe, trying to think. Okay, if that's the bottom plane, maybe I could do something like this. And then this is actually, yeah, like that's the sphere. I think I fucked that up. Yeah, definitely fucked that up, but oh yeah, it's diverging drastically, but just it's important to see how far we can take our existing knowledge before we have to sort of recalibrate, right? So, plus I'm curious, like what kind of interesting shapes I can come up with. I mean, I think I've already said that 10 times now, but yeah, plus I'm curious, Anyways, it's not bad. These are all just attempts. And I'm really trying to figure out this attempt. I feel as if that's a pretty interesting shape and that can go in a lot of unique ways. Like, there's definitely a lot of things that can be done here, right? I also do have to keep in mind the contour, right? This page is kind of curled up now, it's a bit awkward, but if I keep in mind the contour, let's see, because if I have a sphere like this, what would this even do? I'm trying to think. See, like this is like nowhere near curved enough. And I understand that, thankfully I'm starting to get that now. Right, as well as trying to keep it in perspective. But this is how I think I'll be able to start thinking about the design a bit more, hopefully. Right, because let's see if I have something like, I don't know exactly what I meant to do here, but what I have done is something a bit awkward, possibly. If I do something like that, and then I expand this outward like so, how does that look? That doesn't look too bad. Okay, so I'll expand that outward, and then again, keeping the perspective in mind, we do something like this. Okay, cool. And now it's like, okay, well, what kind of shapes do I want here? Well, perhaps an addition, right? Relatively uninspired addition, as always, just a fucking addition that maybe isn't the most, yeah, definitely not the most interesting, but, and then perhaps another addition. Really breaking the mold here, to be honest. right? Right, just another addition. And is this my small? Is this my small and my big, medium, small? Who fucking knows? Right? Oh wait, that was a fuck up. Let me just do this, try to fix it before it looks too bad. Do you see? Okay, there was a lot of fuck ups here actually. I didn't think it through properly at all. Clearly, fucking when do I ever really think it through? Well, I try, but and then we can maybe have a cutout here. And again, you can see like, oh, he's just fucking, not only is he thinking about all these different things with the sphere in the box and blah blah blah, right? But I'm also trying to ideate. And you can see the perspective is actually kind of off. Oh yeah, it was definitely off here as well, that's for sure. Don't know how I didn't notice that. Because my brain is tired. because I'm coming back after my session just like an hour, not even 20 minutes ago. Like this, I just did this and I grinded my brain, right? Now I'm back again. So, and I'm still trying to keep things simple. I feel as if I complicated things here, but I think there's a way to keep this simple. There should be a way. Okay, see? Okay, so I'm getting better at definitely holding the sphere and thinking about the box for sure. Now it just comes down to what the fuck am I doing here? Because I've created like a little cutout. So confidently too, I'm like, yes, I cut out now. I will cut out now. That's not a good accent. I will cut out now. That is not good accent either. I will cut out now. That's just nasally and annoying. No idea, no idea. Oh, Hanan's family, I don't know. That sounds like Zoidberg. Why not Zoidberg? That does not sound like Stitch anymore. Hanan's family, something like that. I don't fucking know. Anyways, okay. Let's really think. Well, who says you're not worth it? Okay, so if this is going by something like this, actually. Now, I didn't intend on this. This actually, I wanted what I did here to be a form combination, but I feel like right now, that's just not the move. Perhaps I'm being lazy, actually. Let's see, I'm trying to... Oh, see, this is not designed well, because look, we have a tangent. Definitely not designed well. It could have gone well, actually. It actually could have gone very well, but I fucked it all up. And I don't want to do another tangent here, so we're just gonna have to go around and... Okay, very mid, very mid. Very mediocre, but... Again, the idea is fine, to be honest. There's nothing wrong with the idea. I just have to commit to something else now. Which should be something like... Because this basically became a shape in and of itself. Which is interesting, but it's nothing crazy. No, wait, see, that's not following the contour that I want. I need to get this, because the sphere comes down here. I need to make sure that, see, like, very unconfident lines. You can see I keep going over that, right? Super unconfident lines. I'm not visualizing nearly as well as I want to be, but that's okay, because I'm trying, right? I'm really trying to hold everything in my mind. We need a big shape. That's the thing. I feel as if I need, like, a big shape to really cement perhaps a decent understanding. Something that says, like, hey, like, some sort of design is occurring. Right, so why don't I do something like a giant shape like this. I don't know if it's gonna be anything inspiring. Okay, so that's, yeah, and then this is gonna be a lot more curved. There you go. This is the perspective. I'm still trying to keep the perspective in mind. I want to be very clear. Even if it feels like I'm not, I'm still trying to keep it in mind. Right, and let's see, why don't we... Now, is that an interesting shape? Who knows? But I feel like something's happening. Something indeed. Now, I wanted to do something else, but I feel as if that opportunity is a bit lost. Possibly. Maybe. This is not bad. I don't think there's anything wrong with this, but definitely my shapes are very uninspired right now. And yeah, again, like, oh, I go on Pinterest and I'm like, yeah, so that's a nice shape. And then I have fucking, I can see things in my mind when I'm not drawing. Like, all of that means nothing because I'm here now trying to hold 3 layers of perspective projected in my head with a sphere inside of it and a box over it and center lines inside of it. And I'm trying to design on top of those 3 layers of projection and I can't see anything because my brain is too occupied doing everything I just said while I'm fucking talking, which is a skill, right? So that is where, like, the problem solving occurs. Right, like at least that's where I feel problem solving occurs. Let's see, what can be done here? Well, I guess I can always, again, do another little derpy, let's see. Yeah, just another derpy addition, right? And we'll just have to see how I can make this look relatively decent. You can tell my energy is a bit low right now because, yeah, I'm just trying to think, and this is like the second hour. It's pretty difficult. I really don't draw as much as perhaps it seems like I do, but I don't. Like I just don't draw that much. Let's see. Okay, how does this come in? So like this? Something like that? I have no idea what's going on here. Something like this? I think that makes sense. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to figure out like the additions and the subtractions and the perspective in this, right? Like, let's see, because this is such a weird shape now. It feels as if I've done such weird shit with this that I'm just committed to seeing it through. Genuinely doesn't feel like I've created anything particularly interesting, but yeah, don't want to be too pent up about particularly interesting either, right? We don't want to care too much about that at this point either. I just want to draw and see what comes out of it. So let's see. Yeah, I'm just trying to think because like this is literally the contour that's supposed to be occurring. So with that, let's see, how the fuck? So like this, then yeah, it's like we almost don't even see the other side. Yeah, it's just attached like that basically. That's pretty cool. Okay, you know what? That doesn't look horrendous. It doesn't look so bad. And now I just got to think about perhaps, I mean, I do see the sphere pretty clearly. I could completely shoot myself in the fucking foot now that I've said that, but I want to try. I really want to try doing a blend of a sphere, a cylinder with the sphere, right? So now this is really gonna grind my brain, because first of all, this sphere ends right here. There you go. We got the ending of the sphere, which is good, because that's the most important part. is like it looking decent. Actually, this is still a bit off. Again, lack of confidence. Look how many times I went over that line. That looks like fucking shit now, right? Like it's so thick because I kept lowering where I thought the line would be. But that's the whole point, is that like it's just constant effort, right? That's just the fucking phrase I default to when I'm tired. Oh, by the way, anything I say, by the way, constant effort, right? But hold up, let me drink some water. Stay hydrated, homies. But drop the bass while you're at it, anyways. I wonder if anybody will get that reference. Okay, let's see, bro. I want to put a fucking. I want to put cylinder. I want to put cylinder so badly. Let's see if this is the diagonal. Okay, and then, okay, which direction is the box in? I still have to make sure that everything's in perspective. My brain's actually really hurting trying to figure out the diagonal for this, but actually, yeah, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. So it'll be something like this. Oh, that's a mistake, but let's see, maybe I can fix it. Yeah, okay, I think that's decent. Now I want to so badly, so fucking badly blend this. So how do I want to blend this? I don't know. I don't think I've done form blending nearly enough to something like. That doesn't really make any sense. Because the thing is, like, it's literally an elliptical surface on another elliptical surface, right? Two curves, essentially, combating each other. And it's up to me, like, it's up to my logic to figure out, okay, like, how are they combining? You know, like, how do they make sense? How did this make sense? What the fuck did I do here? Oh, this is so hard to figure out. Maybe I'll just do something like this, right? Because I already kind of fucked it up. Yeah, maybe I'll just do something like that, and then we'll have something like this. Just a nice big shape that I don't have to worry too much about. Right? Something like that. We will even make a little cutout, something like this. Right? Again, you can see my ideation is really just something like this, something like that, something like this, ooh, something like that. Right? Do you really think there's anything else going on in my fucking mind right now? You really shouldn't. And I think that's actually what a lot of ideation is just... It's so hard because you have to be in this place where not only you're still thinking very... Okay, I have to be in a place, right? Let me speak for myself. I even though I do think this is a relatively universal experience, I'm not going to speak fully on how it is for everyone, but I do think this is pretty much like what makes sense to me, right? Just because I've gone through all this effort, I feel as if it makes sense that most people would have a similar system. And these lines are really bad right now, which is good, because the pen, that just means, oof, that's a good bad line. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, the main thing is like, wait, hold up. Oh wait, if that's how I'm gonna do it, how is this connecting? Well, that one I didn't even connect properly. Let's just maybe do something like this then. Yeah, and the logic of trying to figure out this blending is so difficult. But that actually doesn't look that bad. Holy shit. Would you look at that? Try to actually make the shapes look decent, and the shapes look decent. Interesting. There is something to trying. Possibly. Right. But yeah, okay, so like the ideation is difficult because... Okay, well, first let me see how this is even gonna be. Let's see. I have to see, okay, like it's already, okay, the ideation is difficult because you have to be in a place where, at least I have to be in a place where I'm thinking technically about the perspective and I'm trying to figure things out, but also I have to let some sort of fluidity occur and be like, okay, don't be so rigid, like still allow yourself to kind of, like let your curiosity run and all that stuff, you know, be playful, be joyful, all that shit, but it's really hard when you're thinking so technically because I'm still trying to keep all the perspective and everything in mind, right? So, and now like, look, I have to mirror this, which is also very difficult, but that's a good thing. Like that's definitely, like that's obviously something I want. I want it to be that difficult, right? And we have to mirror this, so let me just think. It's roughly like here. There you go. That should be okay. I don't think that's perfect. Like I know that's not perfect. Like I'm very confident that's not perfect, but I think it's okay. And right now I'm okay with okay. Because I am really grinding my brain. Like I'm really fucking trying so hard. I'm a try hard, didn't you know I'm a try hard? There you go. Can you hear like the fucking scraping of my... Oh, I can hear it. I don't know if anybody else can hear the scraping of my pen against the paper. This doesn't even make sense. This is like a cutout, which I didn't even flesh out. Maybe something like that. Something like that. That doesn't even make much sense. But I have to, I guess, follow up through on the other side, right? Something like that. It's like an opening, I guess you could say. Doesn't really make much sense. I think the perspective is just all sorts of flawed. But let's continue, why don't we? At least I've gotten a little bit better at thinking about the space things occupy in. Funny enough, this is actually pretty decent design, all things considered now. I think definitely what's carrying it is these two shapes. Like, just something about the way I've oriented, and okay, this is already a bit incorrect, but this is something about the way I've oriented, like the combination of shapes and the way they're wrapped around. Just my design, which is basically ratios and ratios and sizes and symmetries and fucking repetition, all that shit, right? Something about the way I've done that, clearly, and even though there's a huge mistake here, there's actually off symmetry, clearly is a bit more compelling, right? And it's allowing me to fraud that this is a good design, much more than I would have been able to do otherwise. And you know, I'm not fucking complaining, but and again, like I will be completely honest, like I'm not even thinking as much as I should be, because I'm actually not thinking that much about the perspective right now. But this is what I mean, like I'm just like finding that fucking balance and being like, oh look, he's thinking about the perspective, or by he I mean me, like, oh look, think about the perspective, but then also be free and be flowy. Like how do you find that balance? Okay, so the sphere was a bit off for sure, and this shape kind of doesn't look attached properly. I wonder if something like this would make a difference, right? Just add like a little cylinder. If I just did something like this. Oh, that does look more technical. Maybe. I don't even know what that's attached to. It does look kind of looks dumb. Shouldn't have added it, to be honest. But now that I have added it, I should probably put it on the other side as well. Okay, well, at least the symmetry makes things look not as bad. But this is okay. This is okay for sure. You know, nothing spectacular, but this is definitely okay. Oh, fuck me, I dropped my... I keep fucking dropping this pen cap, bro. But I definitely have to keep it at an hour for this video. It's already been half an hour. So yeah, that took half an hour. Look how much fucking That's like half an hour, but I wasn't, this is so weird. Like I wasn't thinking about the perspective nearly as much. So that's not good. But at the same time, I created a design which I can say kind of looks a bit more interesting. It's hard to say. Well, I did push my boundaries in trying to make this blend. And it feels as if some of it worked, some of it didn't. But overall, like, perspective is relatively decent. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that could have been done to make this. Like, these definitely were ideated decently. I think the biggest thing is find that balance. Like, find the state where I am thinking very hard, but also, thinking very hard, but also, like, thinking very hard about the perspective, but also being free and flowing with the ideation of the shapes I want to put on the perspective that I'm really intensely visualizing, right? And obviously that just comes with extensive practice, like obviously, like that balance, that blending, because that's also a skill. To be able to be free flowing, that's a skill. Like that's an ideation skill, right? I'm sure there's about fucking 15 behaviors and meta skills involved in that I don't understand right now, but hopefully as I keep going, I'll be able to understand and then verbalize to those of you listening. But right now, the behaviors that go on in my mind, or the skills that I practice in my mind when it comes to ideating, is like, okay, like what shape can go on this? What function can it have? How can it connect with something else? And then what are the ratios that I can have with one shape to the next, within the lines of the shape itself, as well as the shape that it's perhaps next to, behind, intersected in, subtracted in, like all these different things. Just what if, what, how, all while holding in the 3 layers of box, sphere, and center lines. It's a lot. It's a lot of fucking shit to think about. And it's not all at once. I'm like fucking cycling through it. I'm trying to hold everything at once, but it's basically just constantly being cycled through until 5 years from now, it's intuitive, and then I have like these 30 meta skills or behaviors just being applied in my mind, and I'm like, haha, I'm just vibing, but no, I'm not vibing. I'm explaining it now, so when I forget how to explain this later, you're all very well aware that I probably won't forget how to explain it later, to be honest, because I'm so fucking anal about making sure I never forget how difficult art is, and to like extensively ground and inform people as to what is being, like, what I'm thinking of in my mind while I go through all of this. But if I ever do, it's in this video, but I most likely won't. But yeah, okay, now I need to rest my brain because I actually didn't entire half hour. But this is actually not bad. There's, again, good ideas happening all around here. Like, it just comes up upon me. Like, my job is just to try and understand. Just try and like, that's all I can do, right? Just try to understand. Be like, what was working? Because this was working, this wasn't. So clearly, what's working here is like the different angles that the shape had and the cutouts that it had. This is too basic, right? Like this is uninspiring. Just genuinely, this is uninspiring. But this is like, oh, this is kind of interesting because this has a bunch of different angles, right? And it has a cutout and it has something attached through it. We can kind of see that in real life. We don't really, like, this is kind of a boring shape. Plus, this isn't even accurate to the perspective, right? But yeah, not bad. Either way, okay, I'm gonna rest my brain. There's a lot of mistakes, but you know what? I'm impressed that even though I was really struggling to think here, I still managed to create something decent, which means all the work I put with the other ones made a huge difference, right? But yeah, I'm gonna rest my brain and then get a new piece of paper and we'll start again. All right, cool. I hope you rested your brain as well. But we're done. Look at that. We did our 50 reps. We're gonna pretend like this is just like the 50 plus, right? So this is like +1, and then we're gonna do another, probably plus just the second one, because it's taking me half an hour apparently to design on top of this right now. And then next time I will move onwards and upwards, right? Purase ultra, as a wise All Might once said. I need to catch up. I caught up to like, I basically stopped reading the My Hero Academia, Boku no Hero Academia manga, like right before the war ended, and then I haven't watched the anime, so like I've just been complete, and this has been like 5 years at this point. But anyways, let's do a different angle. I know I said I wanted to keep that angle, but I like the bottom angle. I do like it quite a bit, but let's try a different one that's also pretty drastic, right? Let's do an angle like that. Basically the same thing, but just the other side. We're seeing, from our perspective, the right side now, rather than the left side. But that's actually a bit of cheating too, because now I can just use that as a reference. But that's basically what I was trying to envision, right? And if I think about the center line, right? Something right there. So if we come outward, I come outward quite a bit, and we try to establish. My pen really wants me to go fuck myself, but either way, we try to establish some sort of, and again, I'm thinking about the box, the sphere, the center lines, right? We try to establish something, right? It could work. Now this is the part where I actually just get to be like, yo, let's ideate, fam. Let's ideate. Right now this I can actually just finally be like, hey, look, the diagonals worked last time. That's a fucking lesson I took away from that, right? Let's continue to take away lessons. I'm actually cheating. I should cross this out. I don't want to use this as a reference. I need to use my mind as a reference. But yeah, either way. Oh, fuck. See, this pen's also going to shit. Okay, time to try the other one now. I'm probably gonna get a new pen after this session, right? But let's see. We got this. Who says? Okay, so this was my center, and then I did something like this, and so the center's that red referee. Jesus Christ, my Asian is really showing, even though I'm not Asian at all. So it should rescind. But let's see. We can maybe even have. Again, like, it's kind of just, the world is my oyster, technically, when it comes to design, right? It's like, I shouldn't be limited, or I shouldn't feel limited, but I do, because it really is that middle ground between me thinking too much versus not thinking at all. And the main thing is, I need to think a decent amount when it comes to, like, okay, like, is it going to be a cutout? Is it going to have a subtraction? But after that, I should, at least this is what I'm thinking right now, is like, I should definitely allow some semblance of a, let's see, I definitely allow something, hold up, see, like, because what if that doesn't work? What if that, oh, this pen's actually looking kind of nice, not gonna lie. Like, what if that doesn't work, right? Yeah, it's like allowing this really, really interesting middle ground of, I'm trying to think, so give me a second, because think about the box sphere center lines is really fucking with my brain. And it's like, while I draw this, I really got to think about the perspective, right? Yeah, it's this. It's kind of like I have to think. I definitely. This is the balance I'm kind of finding right now. Like literally right now, I'm finding this balance, and it seems to be okay. Seems to be, right? I'm not saying it is. I want to be very clear. Like we don't want to be so definitive in the approach if the approach is literally just as I'm going about it, a work in progress, like something that is being discovered as I draw, right? So that's what I'm saying, seemingly. But and I will explain myself after I'm done doing this, right? So yeah, it seems like right now what's working pretty decently, not the best. I'm not gonna say it's like the fucking way that clearly is happening, but it seems what's working pretty decently is like do your best to keep thinking about the box, the sphere inside the box, and the central lines inside the sphere inside the box. Of course, do your best to keep thinking about that, and then there you go. Maybe I even wanna. Actually, yeah, maybe I'll do something like this. Add a little bolt there for some sort of construction rigidity. Or even though it's actually a bit misplaced. Okay, so again, I'm gonna try to explain this for the fucking 15th time, but it is like, because I'm getting so many ideas now. That's what's crazy to me. Like, I'm actually getting so many ideas. So I'm trying to explain to myself almost, like, how the fuck I'm getting all these ideas. When before, it seemed to be so stifled. And I think that is where... Let's see, and then it comes out. And none of this isn't like even that accurate, I want to say. Like, it's actually not that good. But I already do feel as if there's a decent understanding occurring. Hold up. Let me actually let me finish this because I want to be able to accurately say what it is I'm trying to say without fucking it up to a degree where it's like, bruh, you've actually made it even harder to understand what the fuck you're trying to say. But let's see. Trying to think. Okay, I'll take a pause right now. So already this looks way more complex than anything I've done, right? And it's all still pretty simple shapes with cutouts and with additions, subtractions, and little intersections here and there. So what's been working, I just realized like I gotta think about the perspective. Obviously, I gotta really think about the perspective, right? Really, really gotta think about it. But when it comes to designing on top of it, it's like think, and it's what I've been saying, it's like think really hard about the overall perspective, like do your best, like really think really hard about the overall perspective. It's already different than this, by the way, like it's a bit different, but, and like really think about the sphere, even though I wasn't thinking about it nearly as much as I should have been, right? Right, let's see. And because I made that mistake, this has to be a bit longer. Right, that's okay. But yeah, this is already looking so much better, but really think about the underlying 3 layers of perspective. The most difficult part, or like an extremely, extremely difficult part. Yeah, definitely the most difficult in terms of retaining. And now designing on top of it, why these are already looking more interesting is the mind state I'm in right now is like, I want something on top of it. Okay, now I learned that like just having some sort of general diagonals, like taking into account what I learned earlier, is like, okay, let's try to keep that in mind. But why is it looking more interesting? Why are the shapes more like why is it like big and then like medium, and then why are the cutouts in between kind of looking like they're more symmetrical or more pleasing to the eye? Well, that is intuition in the sense it's like not thinking too hard about what length is going to look good. Not thinking too hard, but thinking just enough that I want it to be something that cuts out and look pretty nice. And then almost letting, yeah, all that like studying or just looking at other shapes and just finding them interesting that you do on your own time, at least that I did, allowing that to take the wheel and to be like, okay, like that sort of informs when you start, when you stop, and like what direction you put the shapes in. I hope that makes sense, right? Maybe I can say it in a different way later on, but I'm losing the perspective right now, actually, so I need to do something like this to reinforce the perspective. Because this is actually a diagonal, again, that I did. These are all diagonals, funny enough. I need to actually reinforce the perspective hardcore. Let's see. Because that's a diagonal. Is that the perspective? I don't fucking know. Hold up. Now again, my mind's like, what looks good? Well, who knows if this looks good, but that's the perspective that we're in. So we're gonna have to, there you go, do something like that. Right, and again, let me just add a cylinder. Wow. Why did I think of that? I just thought it would look good, and I think it looks pretty decent. Right? This is already like, it's this really, I'm going to try to explain this state better as I continue to be able to access it and understand it for myself, but for the time being, it's just something I'm going to have to go through. Let's see, something like this. And bring that back, right? Cut that in, make this come out, and this comes out all the way. There you go, some sort of diversity. Okay, that doesn't look good. I know that doesn't look good. And again, I'm not thinking about the perspective right now, which is not a good thing. I want to be very clear. Like, I do need to constantly be thinking about the perspective. So while I speak and while I do this, I need to recalibrate and see the perspective in my mind again. And I think I've gotten it down. But right now, the thing is, like, the difficult thing of what I'm doing right now is I've been doing everything that's diagonal and different than the actual perspective, right? Like, this is my actual perspective, like this, right? So I need to make sure I consistently establish that a bit further as well. And perhaps what can establish that is something like... Okay, so that's not enough curve. That's a mistake on my end, right? Not, I didn't say like this is the fucking, like I've suddenly, Eureka, I figured out how to draw. Never saying that. But let's see. Okay, so we can do this. And what else can we do? Because we still need the perspective to be what I want, but like the accurate one, right? Let's see. Oh, let me finish this off as well. That. Okay, that's kind of just there. Yeah. And what else? Maybe I didn't... Actually, I made a mistake because of what I did with the sphere here. Yeah, there you go. So, like, still mistakes, right? I didn't center the sphere properly. So, we have something that's really not the most accurate, but it's okay. You're like, this is definitely not the most accurate, but... Okay, now my brain is like, okay, what the fuck do I draw? Right? And it's been 46 minutes, so and I only have like I have to be done at the hour mark today because my fucking phone does not have enough. It does not have enough storage. Right, I have 13 gigs left since before I started recording, and if I do the hour and 15 mark like I've been doing, it's gonna go way more. It's gonna like barely hit in. That's not good. So okay, like let's try to access the state I just had before, where it's like, okay, we're just kind of ideating, kind of dicking around, trying to figure things out, right? So what would that entail? Let's see. Well, I wanted to do something like this maybe. Okay, see, but I lost the perspective completely now. Oh, okay. I think I got it back. So if we do something like this. Will that make sense? Maybe it can make sense. Maybe it can make sense. Yeah, maybe. If I do something like this, I'm trying to make it cut across. So this is where I really need to see the perspective. Because, yeah, okay. So something like this. And then something like this. Right, there you go. Okay. And with that, I can also, let's see, do something with, what's the perspective that I'm looking for here? Something like that, okay. Let's see, something. This could go wrong, of course. It could always go wrong, but I do want to see what I can draw. That's what I'm more interested in right now. What can I actually draw, given the opportunity to draw? Right? What can you draw, given that you don't do shit drawing? You know? Okay. And let's see. We'll bring this out because it did go out like that. And then there you go. It's attached like that. see. Okay, and then we can bring it out like so. Okay, so this is obviously not perfect at all. Because I didn't think too much about what this would be right here, to be honest. Right, but maybe if I had some plating, and I really try to keep that perspective in mind, perhaps it won't be so shitty after all. I mean, it does look pretty interesting, I will say. Like, I really want to, I'm really going to try to focus on having this really nice balance of thinking and not thinking, because clearly, or like thinking and vibing, you know, art, what is it, vibe coding, right? I want to be vibe arting, right? It's fucking disgusting terminology. But even though I think this, what I'm doing here, could be a lot better, like what I just did here in general, could be a lot better. Right, we want to follow that perspective. Oh, let's not close that too early. See, almost did like an oopsie doopsie. There you go. Now we can see, because I've definitely seen shit like this in I guess concept art, right? Like, what does that mean? It's a real question. What can this mean? There you go. Something like that. I didn't even mean for it to turn to something like that, but it did. That's pretty sick. I'll make it very subtle here. I don't even think the perspective of what I did here made sense, to be honest. But it's this really interesting balance of thinking and not thinking. I'll be real. It's I don't know how else to explain it. See, and I actually think I fucked up the center here. So I might have to do something like this. Right? Then we'll bring it like, and I'm clearly not seeing that perspective well enough. But we'll do something like this. Right? And maybe something like that. There you go. Because that's kind of what I was planning on doing anyways. And let's see. This is all fucking like me making shit up without even realizing that it was gonna go like this. I had something completely different planned. Pure honesty is the best policy, but I did have something completely different planned. But let's see. I wanted to, yeah, let's have it just follow the contour of the sphere, right? And how is this going to connect? Actually, I have no idea how this is going to connect. Fuck it, just connect it like that, if that makes sense. There you go. See, now that design is definitely getting convoluted, for sure. This is definitely getting fucking convoluted, but okay, I'm gonna stop messing around with that area. And then we're just gonna obviously maybe add like a bolt there. And again, this sphere is completely wrong, but let's just see if I can make it connect like so, right? Oh, see, like I shouldn't have done that. You know? Yeah, see, completely incorrect. And let's just have something that's just clasped around. Obviously, I could have done a much better job at the end here. Definitely 100%. But the fact of the matter is, I haven't even drawn a sphere this large, or drawn over a sphere this large before. So that's way too fucking big. Like if you compare it to my other ones, right? Like the sizing. Yeah, it's way too big. But like apart from it obviously going to shit at the end, like I want to be very clear, like I lost the sphere. I completely lost the sphere. I completely lost everything. I ended up becoming way more focused on ideation, which is cool and all, but you know, was it really the point